Boyfriendicus apiricus.
You're not a wizard, Carrie.
Have you ever been told that you're not a real fan?
Have you ever felt left out because you haven't been reading comic books for the last 40 years?
Have you ever wanted to know the entire background of a film without having to read all 3,407 pages of the books?
If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute. Open your browser and search the professionals.
Pop Nerd.
Our knowledgeable staff is geeking out 24 hours a day to answer your geek-related questions.
We're ready to inform you.
The next in the MCU's long line of movies about rich, pretty, genius douchebags who have everything. Get knocked down and get up again!
No. Here are 5 things you need to know about Doctor Strange.
Thing 1. Origin story. Doctor Strange was introduced in Strange Tales number 110 in 1963 as a creation of Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, only 1 year after Spider-Man was introduced.
Doctor Strange was different because he didn't get introduced with an origin story. Instead, he enters the scene as a fully realized sorcerer. In fact, it would take until Doctor Strange number 45 in 1992 before we would learn his full backstory.
If you're watching this, you probably already have a pretty good idea of Doctor Strange's origin because they told it in the very first trailer. Brilliant surgeon, who's also a jerk, experiences trauma that pushes him in a new direction. Sound like anyone else we know? Boy has everything, boy loses everything, boy gets everything plus superpowers. It's kind of like back in high school when your friend Becky, who you were super tight with, got dumped by her boyfriend and then refused to listen to any of your advice and instead spent a semester at sea only to come home and never shut up about high tea and why we should all be growing sorghum. Oh, and there's also a wizard capable of dimension-destroying impossibilities.
Something like that. Stephen Strange, after an accident that destroyed his hands and his surgical career along with it, sought out anyone who could heal him, including the Ancient One, who agreed to train him in the mystic arts,
paving the way for him to become Sorcerer Supreme.
Number 2, powers, abilities, and magical items.
AKA, there are no wands on me.
Focus. Strange draws his power from 3 primary sources: the invocation of powerful mystic entities or objects, the manipulation of the universe's ambient magical energy, and his own psychic resources. Strange's magical repertoire includes astral projection, energy projection, thought projection, matter transformation, teleportation, animation of inanimate objects, illusion casting, dimensional travel, time travel, and mental possession, just to name a few.
Snooze. He's also a master martial artist and expert surgeon, although after the car accident, he can only perform surgeries by using mystical arts.
The 3 main physical sources for Strange's powers include the Cloak of Levitation,
which allows him to fly like Superman.
The Book of Vishanti,
basically the Necronomicon, but for good.
the Necrowoticon?
Evil Dead. Get it together.
It's basically a textbook for good magic. The 3rd item is the Eye of Agamotto.
I got this. The eye is a magical item that houses the spirit of mystic Agamotto, and Strange uses it to ward off evil spirits, reveal disguises, and see into the past, among other awesome uses.
I wish I had that for my last boyfriend. Am I right?
No, you're not. The eye is going to play a major role in the film, and many speculate...
Hey, save it for thing 5.
Oh, right. Moving on.
Number 3. Doctor Strange has been a member of almost every Marvel team-up you can think of. The Avengers, the Defenders, the Order, Midnight Suns, even the goddamn Illuminati.
Shh, they'll hear you.
Seriously?
He also hasn't had a real steady readership. In fact, runs of the comic would frequently be canceled and rolled into other titles, or split comic formats where he would share the limelight.
That might have something to do with how different Doctor Strange was from the rest of Marvel Comics.
Tell me about it. Stylistically, it's insane. Flying through psychedelic backgrounds, facing off against Lovecraftian villains. He even went toe-to-toe with death.
And basically came out immortal, which makes him unique in the fact that since he no longer ages, Marvel has never had to update his age for the new generation of comic book fans. He and Captain America are pretty much the only ones out there.
And the award for most eligible senior citizen goes to... The trouble is that Doctor Strange can't really be compared against other heroes because his skill set is so different.
I mean, sure, Captain America is awesome and pretty and sexy.
And welcome to a role in the sheets. Standing offer.
But how do you compare that to a guy who faces things like this?
Even the team he started with, the Defenders, was vastly more powerful than the Avengers, which makes Doctor Strange unique because so many of his stories focus on his humanity and not the godlike powers he possesses.
That's true. Many of the arcs featuring Dr. Awesome Goatee deal with issues that cut to the core. Questions like, do you save your best friend or the entire world? What's the true nature of evil? And do you keep your refrigerated hellscapes next to the condiments or in the vegetable crisper?
Seriously, this dude keeps demons in his cupboards.
My ex kept him in his closet.
Thing 4. Characters.
The movie is going to be bringing some well-known names for the comics, but different. Obviously, you start with Dr. Stephen Strange, who we've been talking about this whole time, who's pretty much the same.
But then there's the Ancient One, no longer a person, but a title, and if you hadn't noticed, Tilda Swinton is most definitely not an Asian character from the 60s.
Marvel obviously didn't want to risk angering the second largest movie audience in the world. At least that's what we're going with. However, this allows for the film to flesh out an otherwise tertiary character, Wong.
Also, the fact that butlers aren't really a thing anymore. Now, instead of simply providing exposition, he and Baron Karl Mordo seem to be mentors for Doctor Strange, which still sounds like a strong avenue to provide exposition.
In the comics, Baron Mordo is actually Stephen's nemesis. He was a student of the Ancient One, who eventually decided to take more power and fell from grace.
Fun fact, Stephen was destined to become Sorcerer Supreme, so a jealous Mordo sent demons to torment him as a child. Douchebag.
Ugh. And then there's Caecilius, a super minor character in the comic books. I mean, he barely has enough evil hours to qualify for the Henchmen's Union.
He answers to Mordo and is frequently the subject of possession and human puppetry by Mordo. He's basically a meat suit, but look at this makeup job.
The other character to mention here is Christine Palmer, one of the characters to hold the title of Night Nurse. You may recognize another Night Nurse, Claire Temple.
Thing 5.
What to expect from the movie?
Ooh, pick me, pick me!
Carrie!
We can expect my boyfriend to look incredibly sexy.
I hope you're not suggesting that his acting is on par with that of a cardboard cutout.
No shit, Sherlock.
The first thing you should take note from the trailer is Doctor Strange's use of green powers. Most other magic users in the movie, powers that are yellow.
Here at Pop Nerd, we think that this is due to the Eye of Agamotto, the green amulet Strange wears around his neck.
We believe that the amulet is actually the Time Stone, an infinity stone that allows the user to manipulate time.
This will be the 5th of 6 stones in the MCU. There's the Space Stone,
The Tesseract, currently in Asgard.
the Mind Stone,
From Loki's scepter, now on Vision's forehead.
the Reality Stone.
Known in Thor the Dark World as the Ether, now with the Collector.
We've got the Power Stone.
Star-Lord's Splendor from Morag, now in a vault on Xandar.
Will you stop interrupting me?
Which leaves the Soul and Time Stone. Kevin Feige, the MCU guru, has hinted that manipulation of time will play a factor in this film. And there's this shot from the trailer that shows destruction happening in reverse, causing many to speculate that the Eye of Agamotto is actually the Time Stone.
We know there's a green Infinity Stone. Can it be the only green thing in this movie?
Which then begs the question, when will the Soul Stone appear? It has to appear before the main events of Infinity War.
Maybe it's in this film too.
I feel like that's way too many MacGuffins.
Who's that?
The other important thing to know is that in the comics, the villain Caecilius is actually a lackey of Baron Mordo. And since Mordo's not a villain,
Yet.
there's speculation that Caecilius might be serving the uber demon Dormammu, a mystical creature from a hellish dimension. Could it be that Caecilius is trying to open up a portal that allowed Dormammu to appear and lay waste to Earth?
Whoa. So the bad guy could be serving an even worse guy?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Whoa. Like the end of Avengers.
Well, yeah, actually.
Let us know what you're looking forward to in the film and any speculation you might have.
Leave us a comment or drop us an email at thegrandgeekgathering.com. And make sure to like and subscribe to our video down below to see more.
And come back next time for...
Da-da-da!